Marathon Season 2 has massively reworked the way that players can increase their power level, and this is most obvious in the new faction trees, which move many of the shell-related upgrades into the new cradle system, but also introduced a second tier of faction nodes after achieving VIP. VIP being level 30 with the faction after all rewards claimed. Today we're discussing the best and worst VIP faction upgrades in Marathon Season 2, so you know exactly what game-changing rewards you're working towards. It'll be a while before most players even hit VIP with the faction, but that's why it's best to learn what these upgrades are now and save yourself potentially dozens of hours of grinding low-tier maps instead of testing your might in Cryo Archive and maybe reaching the compiler this season. This is a supplement to my best faction upgrades video, by the way. I'll link that in the description. Shout out to Fizzle for posting these on X, one of the best players in the game without question. Comment your favorite faction and let's get started. Now, all these rewards appear to cap out at VIP 15, but at VIP 1 with every single faction, you'll get access to the superior sponsored kit. And this actually varies with every single faction. We're starting with CyberAcme. With CyberAcme, you get the M77, smoke nades, and a regular purple bag. All of these sponsored kits, by the way, will come with Panacea, Blue Heal, Self-Res, as well as a full set of cores and implants. And in my opinion, the weapon on this is actually a GOAT, but everything else is kinda bad. This is the definition of a usable sponsored kit. I'll also mention that as opposed to cryo kits, these sponsored kits do not have inventory value to get you into cryo. Though the loadouts are worth that amount of credits, you're gonna have to exfil with them first before you can take them to cryo. But they're still insanely useful and make it worth getting at least VIP 1 with every faction by the end of the season. CyberAcme is gonna be all about storage and money though. Going through the nodes at VIP 3, opening a lock container rewards you with 250 credit. Considering this is a lock container, I don't think this is really useful at all. But at VIP level 12, reduce the salvage cost of deluxe and superior key templates. And this is amazing since vaults are the best way to kit yourself for the higher levels of play. They really are the most efficient. And at VIP 15, you'll get a prestige backpack for barter with salvage. And gold backpacks are pretty good. They have very unique effects on them. But ultimately, I don't know if this is better than a purple backpack. This is kind of a mid-faction tree to prestige early. I would say the only real reason to do it is to lower the cost of Vault Key. Move into NuCal, you're going to notice they have a lot of implants and heals. The purple and gold are all after their VIP. But with their sponsored kit, we got the Ares Railgun, a blue ammo crate, and a purple heal bag as well. This is definitely support class coded. Good defense, but honestly kind of low tier because it doesn't allow you to get really aggressive, though I like this for being able to farm these purple heal bags. And since the implants work different, you'll unlock the ability to get the purples at one level, and then some levels later you'll be able to get the gold versions. I'll just go on a list by how soon they unlock, give you a brief description and my opinion on whether they're worth unlocking or not, and then we'll rank the faction trees as a whole. First we got Second Wind, and this unlocks at VIP 1 with the gold at level 8. Every time you recharge your shield, you move faster. And honestly, I don't like perks like this that depend on you taking damage and further slowing down to heal while you're getting a speed boost. This is disguised as aggression, but I think while you're trying to heal, you'll actually get pushed and not be able to benefit from this. We got Back in Action. Heal increases weapon ready and reload speed. This one is okay, I guess. Sentinel kind of has this as a passive if you're standing next to his trophy system. Pretty situational, definitely mid. And the last of the VIP 1 implants is Neural Stabilizer. Patch kits increase accuracy and weapon stability, and I think this is a big no because it's going to be a tough situation when your shield actually breaks and you go down into your health. You don't use patch kits in the middle of battle that often, and if you got a triage on your team, it's going to be really not at all. Now the next tier of implants unlock at VIP 5 with the gold unlocking at VIP 12. And first we got Evasive Maneuver. On shield break, sprint speed and heat cap increase. Now this is better. The fact that you get more heat and higher sprint as soon as your shield breaks, it means you actually have a chance to escape. You can turn around and before the enemy team even knows you're escaping, you've already gotten distance and you'll just keep increasing that gap on them as well. Next we have Escape Artist. When shield breaks, pings removed. I guess this pairs well with the first implant, and if this counts for recon pings and TADs, that's definitely a bonus, though if the enemy team never pinged you, then I guess it's ineffective. Final implant is Counter Intel. Taking damage pings attacker, and this is actually very useful for your teammates. Not really for you, because you shouldn't be trying to turn and counterattack if you've taken a lot of damage, but at the very least it'll tell your teammates where they should be facing and they'll defend you while you get your heals. At level 15, you unlock the gold shield for purchase, it says, so if this is purchased with gold and credits, come on, bro. Hopefully you can do this with Salvage as well to increase your stock of these, but I would say the tree overall is just okay. Gold shields actually aren't the biggest jump from purple. The real difference is the effects that you're gonna get on them, the special prestige level stuff, but the implants are kind of mid, and that holds the NuCal tree back. Moving on to the Traxus VIP upgrades, these guys have a lot of mods, but only a couple of weapons. However, this might actually be my favorite faction in Season 2 of Marathon. Looking at their sponsored kit, you're gonna get a Burt, a Bubble Shield, and a regular bag. The regular bag is okay, but this is a high-tier CQC kit. That Burt is usable in so many situations. It did get a bit of a ranged nerf, but it's slowly crept in as probably my favorite SMG in the class. These nodes work a bit different though. It's going to be a daily rotating mod in your armory, and at VIP 3 you get a superior magazine mod, and it doesn't say whether this is barter or purchase, and I'm just going to assume it's barter if it doesn't say purchase for credit, since they're going so heavily on that system now. At level 6 you'll get superior muzzle mods, at level 9 you'll get superior optic mod, and at level 12 you'll get superior specialized mods, and these are the things like gun shields or the new stocks that are on the KKV and D54 battle pistol. So I really like Traxus for the simple fact that it gives you mods for the weapons, and a lot of these weapons you're already going to have access to through the armory. So just by making sure you take a lot of salvage home, keeping your credit stock up, you'll be able to build loadouts from scratch, and that is really a major barrier for a lot of players, the fact that they run out of loot and don't have the materials to build another loadout. It seems like the Traxus trees are the answer to this problem. I should also mention that at VIP 5 you can buy the Burt in the armory. This must be for barter, and then you can buy the M77, and this is the secret GOAT. I think Bungie recognizes how good this thing is. The fact that it has an integrated scope on it means it's usable on pretty much every map to high effectiveness. It was definitely one of the favored weapons of the high tier players, so I see why they locked it up so deep in the trees. And at level 15 you get a rotating prestige mod from the armory, one new gold mod every single day, and as already said, Traxus is so dang valuable, and I think with the reworks they actually made it better than it was in Season 1. It's going to be underrated to new players, but the killers know what's up with Traxus. The MIDA VIP has a lot, quite similar to the NuCal, because it's got many implants here, but also grenades, and MIDA is one of my favorites, not just style-wise, but once you understand how to play the game, the importance of grenades becomes really apparent. And I gotta give a big W to their sponsored kit. MIDA sponsored kit is real. Last season they had the Bully, here at Superior they have a Demolition with chem nades and an ammo bag. So you put this gun away and it's gonna be reloading as you're running towards the enemies. You can flush the enemies out with the chem grenade. There's just really good synergy in these three items right here. I like it a lot. And I think this sponsored kit could go goofy if you get the right cores and implants with this. Let's quickly look at the class-specific upgrades though. At VIP 3, blue ammo crates can have blue or green grenades in them. It's just a chance, but this means you could get EMPs, chems, frags, fletchets, just out of your ammo box, and ammo boxes are already something that you'll be running towards the later stages of the game just because it's pointless to keep ammo in your armory, and ammo costs too much per stack as it is. At level 10, MIDA will have more stock of their equipment for sale, equipment just being every grenade in general, so this is super useful, probably one of the best VIP upgrades in the entire game, because let's just assume that if you're going for VIP, you play this game a lot. And having more grenades just means more successful rounds. It allows you to actually marathon the game of Marathon. On to the implants. First we have Explode Resist. This is VIP 1 and 8. And this is exactly as it sounds, but all these implants are going to be specifically for UESC damage, for bot damage. Not anomaly damage either, by the way. So first we got the Explosive Resist, and next we have the Ballistic Resist, which does exactly as it sounds. Ballistic weapons, not Volt, because the responsibility of Volt resistance goes to your head mod. So with these three, you can have volt resistance, ballistic resistance, and explosive resistance. And I actually believe the explosive one resists melee damage as well. So you can have a full set of damage resist here. I find these very, very useful in solo. I've been playing a lot of solo Marathon lately, and I recommend using these as much as possible in that environment. I'm just very interested to know what the perks on these gold ones are going to be. It's impossible to tell until you unlock these and actually buy them for yourself. The next three implants unlock at VIP 5 with their gold equivalent unlocking at VIP 12. First, we have Dive Bomb, and this is a new one from Marathon Season 2. Explosive damage increases your agility, and this is meant for you to just get in there as soon as you do explosive damage. By the way, this also counts for Destroyer ult, Sentinel's tactical ability, and Vandal mains. Let me know in the comments. Does something like this count for your little Mega Man blaster? Because I don't really use Vandal that much. Next, we have Impact Ping. Damage with thrown or placed objects pings the target. This is pretty simple information. It can be very useful if you're just leaving claymores behind you or sentinel sticky bombs. You're gonna like this a lot if you have a scummier playstyle. Final implant is Covert Recovery. In smoke, your self-repair speed increases. Now, smoke grenades, in my opinion, are kind of underrated. We haven't reached the level of general player IQ where smoke grenades are kind of necessary, but Defensive Assassin pairs very well with Sentinel and Destroyer, and I think you're going to see a lot of that team in Cryo. So if you got an Assassin on your team or you're the Assassin, this is a goated implant. Unlike the other trees, MIDA does not give you something gold for reaching VIP 15. They give you the ability to purchase bubble shields, and bubble shields are absolutely meta-defining to this game. They have some counters, they have a limited amount of HP, but a lot of their counters are actually mitigated by having a Sentinel with his trophy system inside that bubble shield. The power of the bubble shield is simply undeniable, so I think this alone makes MIDA one of the top tier factions to VIP with. Onto the Arachne VIP upgrades, and Arachne has suffered probably the worst from the Season 2 faction changes. They used to give you the Waster Shotgun on Rook, they used to give you access to sniper rifles, and a cool statistic, Bungie put out stats on which factions people actually got VIP within Season 1, and Arachne was right behind Syac, number 2, because Syac, it's impossible to not get VIP with them, of course, they're the default mission tree. And this loss of Arachne is definitely expressed in their sponsored kit. It's such an oddball. They got the Strider, EMP nade, and ammo bag. There is a semi-synergy between the Strider and the ammo bag, I guess. That way you don't really have to reload this thing as you're chasing people. And if you get lucky with the chip that actually heals you off of EMP damaged opponents, that's pretty good. Maybe you get a bunch of the implants and cores related to Arachne that bump up your knife damage so you don't have to worry about your second weapon, but this is so situational in my opinion, a pretty mid-sponsored kit. Looking at the implants, the first three unlock at VIP 1, with the gold version at VIP 8, we got the Edge Runner. You move faster with your knife equipped, and this one is really, really good for assassin types or people who just like to run the knife. The knife is definitely tapered off in power since the launch of this game, but it's still pretty good, and I think Bungie sticks really closely to their ethos of the weapon triangle, that being your gunplay, your melee, and your grenades. All three of these things hold up the Bungie gameplay that we know. Next, we have Parting Gift. Melee defeats heal a small amount, and the thing to notice about the language here is defeat is not finish. If you knock down an opponent with this, you will get a small amount of healing. And it's not hostiles, by the way. This is something that you could probably double up on through the cradle system, as the very top upgrade of the strength tree is a leech melee function. So hopefully these two things stack. You might be able to do a really cool melee build this season. Third VIP 1 implant is the Toxic Injector, and your knife heavy attacks apply toxin, and the time for this is based on the rarity. So getting the highest level rarity of this to get that toxin is so good if you like this function. I'm actually very interested to see how long the toxin lasts on a gold implant of this. Let me know in the comments whenever you unlock this thing. The next three implants unlock at VIP 5 with the gold version at VIP 12. And first we have Frenzy. Defeating a hostile increases your attack recharge and sprint speed. And as someone who loves speed boost now, I really come to value things that increase your heat capacity and increase your sprint speed. Agility isn't so much, since agility is really related to your animations. It doesn't boost you by that much, but the first two, heat capacity, sprint speed, those are so valuable. And consider it's defeat hostiles, by the way, not defeat runners. So you're gonna get this a lot more often. Next we have Fight Club. Each melee hit stacks damage for you and your allies. This is absolutely a troll implant, and really all the implants on Arachne, it's best if you put them together. I think that's really where you're going to see the full value of them, and people who go all in on the Arachne tree are going to be pretty freaking annoying, but I think they're going to be very rare because Arachne doesn't offer many benefits outside of the knife. The final implant is Immune Response, and this one is interesting. When you cleanse hardware effects, you'll get more melee damage. When you cleanse your firewall effects, you'll get self-repair. So this is another way to increase your melee damage, but I think you have to actually be suffering status effects for this to work. However, in a place like Cryo, you're always going to be suffering from status effects. It's not going to be too difficult to keep this online. And at VIP 15, they unlock a rotating prestige mod specifically for precision weapons. And I know this is about DMRs. I don't know if this extends to snipers. I think it does. If you're into that class of weapons, this can be pretty useful, though that class of weapons tapers off at the endgame maps. At the very least, it's a specific gold mod, so it gives it more value than just the Traxus VIP. Now on to Sekiguchi, and this faction tree is a bit of an oddball, but if you enjoy the hero aspect of this game like I do, it's the whole reason I started playing Marathon in the first place, then this is an invaluable tree, and their sponsored kit really shows you how strange they are. You have an Outland sniper rifle with a regular bag and a bubble shield. I kinda wish this was a heal bag, but I guess Bungie decided that the purple heal bag would be stuck with NuCal, so instead, I think you have a kit that's kind of lacking. This is definitely a lower tier kit, but since you can't buy Outlands through the armory, you can only get them through schema, finding them, or I guess through this sponsored kit. This is a little bit more valuable for that alone. This faction has a lot going on in the tree, so I want to point out cradle efficiency at VIP rank 10, completely out of order, because this is something you either beeline for or you completely ignore it, because by the time you get VIP this high, you might already have max cradle, because you can only go 70 levels into cradle. I'm currently at like level 45 or something, but my account level for the season is under 60, so I'm already more than halfway there. I'm not going to need this. You may not need this unless you bum rush Sekiguchi. And I'll also note that you unlock purple cores for every single shell universal at VIP rank 5. This is super good because blue and purple actually have different effects, and you want to have as many rarities of shell specific cores as possible just so you have the widest array of powers. On to the implants, and these first set of implants don't actually have a gold equivalent. I'm not sure if you can get them in gold out of the high level vaults. Let me know in the comments. They might just cap out at purple. First we have Energy Reservoir at VIP 2. Energy amps give charge to nearby teammates. This one is okay, but the real way you should be doing Energy Amp is giving it to your Triage, because Triage gives you a fourth of the effect of a consumable through his drone. So make sure your Triage equips your teammates with the drone, have him chug a signal jammer, cardio kick, energy amp, even the mech and OS repairs. Triage is a do-all kind of character. He's super underrated, even though we know how powerful he is. At VIP 3, we got Herd Immunity, defeat hostile for hardware and firewall boost. Note, it's hostiles. This can be pretty dang useful in Cryo. Definitely something to grab. I think we're gonna discover that Sekiguchi might be the most underrated faction in the game, simply because it's the trees you unlock last. You don't have access to their missions until you've done everyone else, at least their basics. At VIP 4 we have Balancing Act, and this gives you a hardware and firewall bonus based on the number of items in your bag, and I think this possibly scales with the type of bag you have. So if you have purple bags and this chip, you might actually have maximum firewall, software, hardware resistance. I don't know, let me know about that in the comments. Does the math work out that way? Because Marathon is all about the math. That's where you get super deep into the RPG aspect of this game. The next set of implants do have a gold version, and this is where I say this whole tree is kind of oddball because they unlock at different levels as well. First we have Checkmate, which is VIP 7 and then VIP 12. When you activate your prime ability, that being your ultimate, you gain +2 agility, +2 sprint speed, and +2 weapon handling, and this all goes to your crew as well if they're nearby. So this might be a super underrated, possibly even a GOAT chip this season. It enhances your aggression so much, and I think you'll take people by surprise with how fast you close the distance on them. Keep in mind, a shell like a Vandal, their whole ultimate is about clearing the heat and running faster anyway, so this is just going to be even more bonus on top of that. An Assassin, he's going to be running super fast in his smoke. I see this being absolutely game-changing, the Checkmate implant. At VIP 8, we get Freeloader with the gold. At VIP 13, defeating a hostile with knife grants power energy. This is definitely good for an Assassin. I think this pairs pretty well with the Arachne chips from earlier. But this is hyper specific, isn't it? Like, if you're really using your abilities, there's very few abilities that supplement the knife playstyle, so this really only works on one shell. The last implant in Sekiguchi is First Law at VIP 9 and 14. Your abilities charge faster while sprinting and sliding. Another one that really depends on the shell. Good for something like a Destroyer or a Vandal. I like this on the Destroyer because sprinting, even his tack sprint, is going to be recharging his abilities as well. His ultimate, by the way. And Destroyer ultimate, to me, it's probably my favorite in the game. And at VIP 15, you unlock a rotating prestige core, and this one is a bit iffy. It's really good because it's gold, but a single prestige core a day, it really depends on the shell. Do you even play the shell when it comes to the store? And I don't know if it rotates out unless you actually buy it, so you could end up in a situation where you're stuck with that gold just sitting in your armory. If I had to rank which faction VIPs I think are the best, first I'd have to start with Traxus. Traxus is definitely S tier. You got so many mods and a great sponsored kit as well, and of course access to a rotating prestige mod every single day. MIDA would be the A tier to me because they got really good solo implants, and I've been enjoying these implants quite a bit. If you take a lot of chip damage, even in trios, invest your time in MIDA. And I also really like their sponsored kit. Bubble shields ain't that great of a level 15 item, but the sponsored kit definitely saves it for me. My third favorite, I would say it's still A tier, is CyberAcme, and this is because they give you cheaper keys, the fact they already give you access to keys, and this is where you get bags as well. They got a decent sponsored kit. Really, it's just that it gives you an M77 on lockdown right there at VIP 1, and I love that M77, so this is third in the list. Bottom of A tier. Sekiguchi is number 4, the start of B tier. And what I like is that they give you access to all the cores, and the cores give you access to more abilities, but the abilities in Marathon aren't the most game-changing thing, even at their maximum levels. And I think it's kind of silly that they have the Outland kit. The Outland kit isn't the best. If it was a little bit finer tuned, this could have been above CyberAcme. Number 5, and at the very bottom of B tier, is going to be NuCaloric, and I think you get most of NuCaloric's good stuff before you even hit VIP. You do get the gold shield at level 15, but like I said, purple shield and gold shield, they're only a couple steps away. What I think saves NuCal from being at the very bottom is that you get a purple healing bag out of their sponsored kit. Otherwise, this would be my least favorite VIP. And the very bottom faction, down in C tier, the real loser of Marathon Season 2 is Arachne. And it's really just because I'm not a knife guy. They have a hyper-specific playstyle with all of their implants, and while you do get a gold mod for precision weapons, which the hyper-specificness actually benefits that portion of Arachne, I think really I'm just disappointed in their kit, because the Strider it's neither here nor there. It's the definition of a mid DMR. It's not the burst volley, so you can't do some close quarters combat with it. It's not something like a hardline, so it doesn't benefit from the heavy ammo stuff. Strider is something that Bungie may actually have to buff for it to be really useful. I should check the patch notes. Maybe they did give it a buff. I could be wrong here. But tell me your faction ranks in the comments. Which of these factions are you going to get VIP with first? Be sure to like and subscribe for more Marathon, and check out these videos next to me. One of them is a complete beginner's guide, all of my condensed knowledge from over 100+ hours of gameplay at the time, and the other one is the basic faction upgrades from this season, everything you need to know to beeline to the VIP as quickly as possible.